Did you know that Moses was such a powerful leader that when he raised his hands, the Israelites won their battles, but when he lowered his hands, the enemy won? Well, in today's story, we'll discover how Moses became the greatest leader of all time, and what happened when he forgot an important lesson. The story begins with a big problem. Pharaoh was enslaving God's people, the Israelites, and they cried out to God for help. God heard their cries and said, "I will send you a deliverer, Moses, to rescue my people from the Egyptians." But God told Moses that he wasn't very good at speaking and would stutter. When Moses complained about this to God, God replied, "Who gave human beings their ability to speak? Wasn't it me? So go. I will be with you and help you speak." Moses was hesitant, but eventually agreed to go back to Egypt to confront Pharaoh. As Moses was preparing to leave, God spoke to him one last time. He told Moses to take off his sandals because the place where they were standing was holy ground. You see, Moses had been a prince in Egypt and was used to wearing fancy clothes and shoes. But now, after speaking with God, he realized that no amount of fancy clothes or fancy shoes could compare to being close to God. So he took off his sandals and put on a pair of ordinary everyday shoes. Then Moses and his brother Aaron went to Pharaoh and told him to let God's people go. But Pharaoh was not happy. In fact, he was so angry that he punished Moses and Aaron by making them slaves. Even so, Moses and Aaron didn't give up. With God's help, they led the Israelites out of Egypt and away from slavery. But there was a big problem. They were in the desert with no food or water, and everyone was really hungry and thirsty. The people complained bitterly to Moses, saying, "We wish we had died in Egypt, because at least there we had food to eat, water to drink, and someone to work for. But out here in the wilderness, we have nothing." Then Moses reminded the people that God had performed many miracles to help them escape from slavery. He said, "God will provide for us. Just wait here while I go and talk to him." As Moses was talking to God, something amazing happened. God caused the staff that Moses was holding to become a snake. Then God told Moses to throw down his staff, and he did. And wouldn't you know it, the staff turned into a big juicy fish right before his eyes. God then told Moses to pick up the fish and eat it. So Moses picked it up and threw it to the people. And guess what? It was delicious. Everyone was so happy to have food to eat again. After wandering in the desert for 40 days, the people came to Mount Sinai. And while they were there, God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. These commandments included instructions on how to treat others, such as do not murder, do not steal, and do not lie. Moses wrote down these commandments and gave them to the people, and they agreed to follow God and obey his laws. From that day forward, Moses led the Israelites according to God's laws. He taught them how to live, how to worship God, and how to treat each other. Because of Moses' leadership, the Israelites became one of the most powerful nations in the world. Now, if you're like me, you might be thinking, wow, Moses was an amazing leader. I wish I could be more like him. Well, the funny thing is, Moses wasn't perfect. In fact, he got angry and upset just like the rest of us. One time, God told Moses to lead the people to a place called Canaan. But they couldn't get in because the people complained too much. And God said, "Because of your complaining, you will wander in the desert for 40 years until the generation that complained has died and a new generation has been born." So Moses got angry and threw his staff on the ground. And you won't believe what happened next. The staff turned into poisonous snakes and bit everyone who touched it. Wow, right? Well, Moses quickly learned that anger doesn't solve problems. And he also learned that even great leaders make mistakes. That's why we should always remember to be kind and patient, just like God was with Moses and the Israelites. Well, that's the end of our story today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, No matter what problems you face, God is always with you. Just have faith in Him and He will help you. Now, before we go, I want you to think about this. What are some ways that you can be a better leader? How can you be more patient and kind to the people around you? Take some time to write down your thoughts and remember, you don't need a fancy title to be a great leader. All you need is a heart that's willing to serve. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure through the Bible. I hope you've learned some important lessons and made some new friends along the way. Remember, God loves you very much, and so do I. Until next time, take care and God bless you.